The plant is native in arid regions like central southern Mexico, but seen right at home to warmer areas like New Zealand, which is coastal to the Otago area. And this is kind of kind of a lot of information about that plant. Um, and it also like pricked me a couple times in my thumb. So if you see my thumb, it's a little red, but it's okay because the plant is not highly based toxic. But I put like some ointment on it, and I took some Tylenol. And of course, if it gets worse, things like that, or I start to feel anything, I'll call an ambulance, go to the hospital, whatever I have to do. But this stresses the importance that you always got to be careful. See, I had some other uh, gloves that I had that I could have used. Some more like kind of darker, blacker gloves, more thicker gloves. Um, but I kept getting pricked right here like a few times. I got pricked in the thumb probably like several times, and this is why I was saying, look, I was gonna cut the video earlier, things like that. I'm just going to show y'all how things can happen. And see, this is a small thing, and that's why you don't want to jump and put your life in danger because you know certain stuff. So that's why I could have kept with that time frame. I could have been good with that time frame. But I like to think that if somebody walk past, they feel even more safe. It's cut down a little bit. The male person can get past. Whoever's walking past is a relative, a family, a friend, or just somebody who, just somebody walking past. They might want to stop by and admire the plant, looking at it, and anything, anything. A kid could be kind of, walking past. So I think about all of that when I'm doing this. I say, okay, I'd rather just like this little thing right here. I'd rather this happen than something worse. Somebody else come past and something worse happen. So I'm definitely gonna get that thing down. But it's maybe somebody took a trip to Mexico. I'm pretty sure I had some people that I know traveled or whatever, or somebody took a trip to New Zealand, or it could have been how like the schools have because this is what I think, the schools have like different programs and different classes and things like that, and some a teacher could have brought it to class, and maybe all the classes and stuff, the people in the class got that plant and they came and planted it, or it could have been a buddy of theirs, they seen the plant, hey, give me the plant, okay. So you got a couple of different scenarios where this thing could have been in here. They could have went to like a local flower shop or a local plant shop and seen this and said, I need something to put in my yard, and it really does look nice. When I was looking at the smaller pictures, look it up. The Yucas, central southern Mexico, that type of plant. Yeah, look it up. It is really fascinating. It's really it kind of draws your attention. You look at it, you're like, wow, it's really strong. It suits me. It suits my character. You see, I'm a really strong individual, strong-willed individual. So it's good. It also looks like a deterrent. You just ain't gonna go run up in somebody's lawn if they got a couple of those there. You're gonna have to take your time and kind of, I'm gonna take my time around this or whatever. So, I mean, that's good too. It's always good to have something like that. A couple cactuses or something in the yard or whatever. It's inside the yard. It never hurt. Somebody come in your yard, get hurt. They in your yard. They ain't supposed to be, on your uh, property, like especially if it was like out in the backyard or something like that. But you see, the main thing is the safety. See how I did safety first? I had my my eyeglasses on. I was gonna wear like a clear glasses because it's just right there. It's just real sharp, 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 sharp. So I put my gloves on. It could be all of my fingers if I didn't use my gloves. It could be all of these, but it's just this small one. And see what normally when you got something like this, it's just I've had like a little. It's like a little blister, and you poke it and it'll go down, and it'll heal itself or something like that. But see that plan is good because that is a deterrent. It's saying, hey, leave me alone. Don't go touching on me. Don't go doing none of that. I'm not this type of plant, not this type of wildlife. And I was all right until I think the cleanup processes. It wasn't even really the cutting. I think it was the cleanup process that actually got me when I was picking up the thing like that. And it was other ways that I could have picked it up and things like that. But at the time, it was easy. It was easy. Just pick it up by hand, boom, put it in there, take your time. I was picking up on the side, and I was being real careful. And notice how it was in my whole hand. So the next time I, probably do the video later on this evening, this thing will be down. Because it looks bigger than what it is, but I'm looking at it now. It's just really small. It's just, that's that's your body's way of making sure whatever is outside of your body and not on the inside. You definitely want something like that on the outside. But I'll poke a couple, this ain't nothing but a advanced blister. I poke a couple um, pin needles or something like that in there, let it drain out or whatever it's going to do, and cover it up, and it'll be all right. And at the end of the day, tomorrow, it'll be fine. If I felt as though I have I probably won't go to sleep right away anyway. Something like that happened, you don't go to sleep. Already drunk all the water and, took some Tylenol. Just, you do some things just as a precaution. I already had that as a precaution. I had a couple pills in my pocket. I had the water ready. I took precautions before, just in case anything happened. Had my phone with me. Anything happened, I'm ready. Anything happened. So look how precocious I was. I got out there early. You don't, that way you don't get like a whole lot of individuals or things. If you don't really want anybody gonna really be in your way anyway. But yeah, just in case. A lot of people, they're up early, they're going to work, they're taking care of business like they're supposed to. So you're not going to really hear too much out of people like that. They might say, like good morning and things like that, which is fine. But you're not going to have to keep stopping and things like that. I figured, I thought about all that. Say good morning. Somebody say good morning. Okay. Because, sometimes I put the camera down. I had the camera. They might say, hey. So then I would have been like, all right, let me, stop. I might have put them on camera. I might not have. I probably wouldn't have. I would say hi to the folks. But, it felt good. It felt good getting out there and just like cutting that thing down. And it looks way better than it did before. So I can't wait to just kind of get the rest of it down and just cut it on down and just get that thing down. And then it'll grow back. Like if I cut it all the way down today, it probably will grow back sometime. Depending upon how much it rains, probably sometime next year or something like that. It's like maybe a once a year thing. You gotta cut that thing down. If you cut it all the way down, now I could go and cut it and pull it down by the root, but hey. But I'm trying to get you to see how I prepared for preparing for the battle. Look how I prepared for the battle. Look how I prepared for it. I got this fan blowing too. All of that is part of the preparation. All of it is part of the preparation I had, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm gonna get my mind prepared for it. This is what I'm going to do. And I got out there. I prayed over. He said anything in His name I could do. I got out there and I did it. I noticed how I researched the plant first. Just in case, I mean, you never know, something like that could be hiding toxins or highly toxic or something like that. But see, all I did was get pricked. That's like if I were to go out to a thorn bush and prick myself in the finger. Yeah, you're gonna blister up. You're definitely gonna blister up. Now, I've had blisters before, so I know how they could be. They one I had was about this size. Look, it's just the old blister. Look at that, nice and juicy blister. But see, the camera makes it look like, oh man, it's really not bad. I can move my thumb. I don't feel nothing. I felt a little bit when I came back. I said, well, what's that? See, a little bit. You can see, where it got me at. And I mentally prepared myself for that battle. And what I could do is I could come over here, right? And I'm gonna do this as an example. I'm gonna go straight to chapter I think this is 15. Let me pause this right quick. See, the word heals as well. So what I would do is I come over here and I'm going to read a little bit from 15 just to kind of maybe get that word in. Do you not yet understand that whatever enters the mouth goes into the stomach and is eliminated? Take from another one, and I just can't keep my eyes off it. Say, for out of the heart proceed evil thoughts. Murderers, adulterers, fornicators, thieves, false witness, blasphemes. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands does not defile a man. Then Jesus went out from there and departed to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely demon possessed. But he answered her not a word, and his disciples came and urged him, saying, send her away, for she cries out after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And she said, yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. See, that one was really interesting because, and I already feel a little better too after reading his word. I want to tell you that. So the gospel does have healing power, but that's another story. I'm not going to go full into that. But this is why he said, "Give us this day our daily bread." But I don't really know the full message of that. But going down to, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire." She stretched out her faith. Jesus never said that he wasn't going to heal her. He said that he was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she worshiped him. Help me, Lord. The answer said, it's not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And see, it seemed as though he was kind of testing her, and he's trying to fulfill scripture. So he never directly said, "Hey, I'm not going to heal you." He wanted to. That was a faith thing. Because I'm reading it and even more understanding. You might get a different lesson from that, but once he said it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs, her response was, "Yeah, the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. So if I'm a little dog, and you're the big dog, the big God, the big God or DOG, the big dog, the big God, the Yahweh, the Elohim, and I eat the crumbs off your table. We eat the crumbs off of the Lord's table. Y'all know that? This is but a small portion of food of what they have in heaven, or what it's like to be fed with heavenly feeding. And I appreciate that. I didn't even read that whole. Look how the Lord will bless you. You didn't even read the whole chapter. I didn't even read that whole chapter. Nothing. It was just, all right. I'm gonna read what you brought to me. And I'm feeling even better, and even better with this. Because see, it's just a blister. You get pricked. Your body has to respond to what's going on. And I got pricked in the thumb a few times. So the lesson here is to have faith. And I'm gonna come back because of the video. I'm gonna come back and get another one.